Dzień dobry, Katowice! Welcome to the ESL 1 Katowice Finals. It has been a record-breaking 3 days. 16 teams whittled down to this. Today, we will make history as we crown our first double major champion. So let's take a look at Fnatic.
Being the first team to win a second major would be really great for us because that's our goal here, and I think every team wants to be the first team to win 2 majors in a row. So that's definitely something we want to do, and we will do it tomorrow. We were the favorites for this tournament, and a favorite have never won a major before, and we're definitely gonna change that. The final will be played on the main stage in Spodek Arena, and it looks just awesome. It looks incredible, and I'm pumped. So are the team to play on the main stage, and I hope we can win. We definitely want to play good at least and really have a great final for the crowds. And I think this place will be packed, so it's going to be awesome.
Katowice, please, wielkie brawa, Fnatic! But of course, they need an opponent. Let's take a look at the Ninjas in Pajamas.
The pressure will never really affect Alo since he's a Finnish person, and those people in general never get really nervous, and he believes in us and we believe in him, so I think he will deliver as he should. It's amazing to know that you're going to be playing on the main stage again, since last time we played against the home crowd, fan favorite Virtus Pro. And it's sad we're not going to face them again, but it doesn't really matter since we're here and we want to have a revenge and actually take back the trophy to us. If we win this major, it means that we will be the only team that has won 2 majors since the majors are starting in CSGO, and it's going to be a hell of a good feeling if you ask me if we win that, because who has won that before? At least 2, you know. It's a weird feeling, and I just hope we are the better team tomorrow.
Katowice, please join me in welcoming to the stage the Ninjas in Pajamas. These teams are ready. This trophy's ready. This crowd is ready. Which can mean only one thing. Over to you, machine.
Hello and welcome to the ESL 1 desk. We have migrated to the Spodek Arena. The crowd is electric already, and it's time to prepare ourselves for the grand final. 16 teams was what we started with. Now just 2 remain, and it's safe to say the world's best Counter-Strike players are now on stage. It's time for introductions, though. I'm Alex Machine Richardson, and joining me I have my CSGO brains for this big event. First up, of course, Kasper Kadian Muller, Halvor Vendetta Gullestol, Spencer Hiko Martin, and of course the hair model. It's going to be our beautiful Chad Sponge Birchill. So, introductions are done, boys. We've got some time now to really discuss this matchup in depth, and I'm going to basically work my way down the line and let me know your thoughts on this one.
Even though it seems that the crowd are on the NiP side, I have to say that Fnatic must be the favorites in this matchup, going through the whole tournament so far without dropping a single map. And also just in the entire map pool, they seem to be stronger because of the new change with NiP, with Alu. They're pretty much forced to remove one of the custom maps, and I'm pretty sure that Fnatic is going to go for the other custom map, and that's just a big advantage for them.
Yeah, we've already seen Fnatic pick up Cobblestone as the first pick versus Virtus Pro, so we can definitely expect something like that, especially given that NiP have banned Overpass every game so far, and here we see the lineup for Fnatic.
Yeah, and of course, you know, that lineup is star-studded. JW, a player that we've highlighted already as someone that maybe hasn't given it their all. Even Kenny S said it himself that he was playing passive in previous games. And Hiko, your thoughts on the Fnatic lineup?
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Olofmeister, going into the day yesterday, had more Tech 9 kills than he had any other gun. Just that stat alone is really insane. When you're able to get that many pistol round kills and save that Tech 9 for multiple rounds after that, it helps your whole team's economy. You're able to drop ops, you're able to drop guns if you end up losing rounds. So I really am excited to see what Olofmeister can bring.
Chad, you know the Fnatic side a little better than some. What are your thoughts of them going into this game?
Well, definitely with stars like Olof performing at the moment, it's great for the team. But if you look at the players like Crims and Flusher, who are the rocks of the team, they're doing their job as well. And if they can continue doing that in this final, I think Fnatic are going to have a really good chance of taking this out.
And of course, their opponents, NiP, Ninjas in Pajamas as well. Let's have a look at their lineup and see what we expect to see from them in this grand stage. First up, Kasper.
We have Sis, the in-game leader of this team, who's been performing extremely well in this tournament. Something to note, and you can just hear the crowd cheering for the NiP lineup right now. That's insane. Everyone's eyes as well on Alu, the Finnish AWP who they brought into the team instead of Michael. One thing to note is that his rating is 0.22, worse than Michael's rating at the DreamHack Major. Though it has to be said that Alu is more the quiet guy who would take the positions, which is not necessarily getting the kills. And I think he's more of a team player in that sense. Though it has to be said that the aggressive AWPing of Michael is something which could break down this terrorist half of Fnatic, which is known for being extremely strong and methodical.
Hiko?
When you think of NiP, you think of finals every major. You think of these strong performances. And we talked about it yesterday and every day since here. They are known for showing up in their big matches. But when you say that, you also have to consider they've been in every major and every major final, and they've only won one. So while they are known for showing up in their big matches, actually in the finals is when they actually seem to fall off.
And of course, it's time for our head-to-head. So let's put that up on your screens as we've looked to see who maybe we're going to be highlighting in this one. We've already talked about a couple of individuals, but the one we've chosen for this one, you touched on it before, Olofmeister and Exist. Vendetta, talk to me about Exist.
Well, Exist has, for me, been the standout player for NiP. I mean, obviously, Get Right has come along as the tournament has progressed, but for me, Exist has been the best player on NiP, and that's saying a lot because previous tournaments, he has been lacking somewhat, but this time around, he's really, really stepped it up, and that's good for NiP.
Hiko, we heard before in the video that it was said that the favorites have never won a major before. Do you agree with that statement, and do you see that changing here?
I actually do agree with it, but I also think that Fnatic is the favorite to win here. They are going to be the one, they probably have the highest chance of breaking that curse, and I actually do believe that they have the capability of doing it.
It's map veto time. Let's start talking maps, as already some have been taken away. We see Nuke and Overpass removed. That's exactly what we were talking about off air, and already some selections have come in, Kasper.
Yeah, we see the NiP picking the Dust2 map, which is actually not a surprise for us. Fnatic hasn't played Dust2 in this tournament so far, which is actually a really interesting thing to note.
Ooh.
And what was the second pick?
Cash.
Ooh, that's interesting. And I think the third one is Inferno, so we're guaranteed that if this goes to 3 maps, it's going to be so intense. People talk about Fnatic being the best Inferno team, and people also tend to talk about NiP being the LAN team on this map. So third map would be insane. I think that I'm kind of surprised by the not Cobblestone pick by Fnatic, but I also think it's a statement from them that they think they're stronger than NiP on pretty much every map.
And Chad, of course, we have to start talking about that first map that's going to be coming up. We're going to be seeing D2 as that first one. What are your thoughts on that selection?
This is the first time we're going to see Fnatic play this map this tournament. They've avoided it for all the other games they've played. I don't know if that's if they're not confident in the map or if they were saving something special for NiP, knowing that they, which would be a really, really smart play by them. But I think both teams are very strong on Dust2. You have the aggressive style of Fnatic, which you're going to see prodding and pushing the T side of NiP back, and the NiP side is quite solid, and you're going to see a lot of good trade kills, I think, this game.
And again, I mean, this is actually a pretty similar matchup to what we saw versus NiP and TSM, because we're definitely going to see the double oak setup coming up from NiP. So both Alu and Forrest will be, you know, getting their snipers up and trying to open up a map for NiP. But I actually think Fnatic have the upper hand on TSM in terms of who has the most consistent AWPers. They can go with both Olofmeister, JW, as we've seen several times, and as we saw in Cobble versus Virtus Pro, Flasher can also handle that rifle. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Fnatic are able to handle the AWPers of NiP, because TSM surely couldn't.
Yeah, and one of the things to note on the terrace half of NiP on this map was that against TSM they were given a lot of freedom. It was pretty much the opposite way around against Envious, and I think Fnatic is kind of the in-between thing. They have JW going for those kills with the AWP, but they don't really tend to push tunnels as much as Envious was doing. Even though it was effective, it's not something I expect Fnatic to do too much, but I certainly don't expect them to do like TSM and just be extremely laid back on the CT half either.
I particularly remember Forrest really playing out of his skin the last time we saw them on Dust2, and so that's another thing I've got my eye on. Last point I want to make about the NiP side, actually, was that the first thing Get Right said in his interview was Alu doesn't get nervous. He's here on the grand stage. You know, the crowd is crazy. They were just cheering in the rehearsals. They were going absolutely insane. I can't wait for us to get into game. And I'll start with you, actually, Chad. Do you think he's going to get thrown off by... Listen to them. How is that not intimidating?
Yeah, I'm nervous doing this. If he's sitting there and he's cool, calm and collected like they think he is, that's amazing. That's a really good, I guess, skill set to have up your sleeve. You need that as a player to be able to stay calm, and if he can do that in this pressure situation, then he's going to be able to bring his A game.
And so it's time for us to go to a very short break. It's going to be prediction time afterwards, though. And if you guys are enjoying this as much as we are, do get onto social media at ESLCS. Until then, though, we'll see you after the break. And we are back. It's time for our predictions as we're about to be jumping into game one of our grand final. I'm so excited. I mean, I've kind of got these goosebumps, nerd chills, I don't know what you want to call it, but every time I hear the crowd cheer, every time I hear that little bit of that music alone gets me going. And so it is now time for our team to let us know how they see this one breaking down over all three maps, or the potential three maps. And actually, I'm going to start all the way at the end there with you, Chad. How you see this one going down?
I don't see it going to three maps. I think Fnatic are going to come out really strong out the gate and take it in two, which is probably against the fans, but I've been going against it the whole time, sadly. I think Fnatic will take the first map, Dust2, 16-14, and the second map, Cache, I think it'll be around 16-10.
And how about you, Spencer? How are you feeling?
I am actually going to have to side with Sponge on this one. I think Fnatic are the stronger team. They will win it in two. They're going to be close. I'll say the first one will be 16-14. Map 2 will go to overtime, and Fnatic will win it.
Fnatic, the masters of overtime so far. How about you, Vendetta?
Well, we're going to sound like a broken record here because I'm going to go with Fnatic 2-0 as well, but though my results are slightly different, I'm going to go with 16-13 twice.
Okay. Finally.
I think it's too boring to just go for the 2-0. Even though it's my best prediction, it would be to go for 2-0. I hope that it's going to go to three maps, but in that way, Fnatic is going to end it up.
So that's a full Fnatic desk for our predictions, and I think that means only one thing. It's time to introduce your casting team for this grand final, and that is none other than, of course, Anders, Tosspot, and Sean Gehres.
Guys, thank you so much. It is an honor to be here in front of this great crowd, and I'm joined by two spectacular casters for the occasion. Guys, let's jump straight into this. Your thoughts ahead of this massive game?
Well, I actually like Kadian's approach to it, saying probably 2-0 is likely, but you hope it's going to be a third map. And if it is, I think it's up to NiP to take Dust2, to be honest.
Yeah, I honestly think that the map veto process kind of favors NiP. I went into the map veto process thinking Fnatic were heavy favorites in this matchup. Coming out of that, seeing Dust2, seeing a Cache, and the third map being Inferno. Obviously, Fnatic's probably slightly favored on Cache and Inferno, but NiP are heavy favorites on Dust2 in my eyes, and I would be really surprised if Fnatic come out with a win on Dust2.
Now, there's a point I wanted to touch upon that the analysis desk brought up earlier, which is Alu, and that he doesn't get nerves. But let's just look at his timeline. He joined Mousesports in July 2014. We're talking 7 months ago. What an incredible rise to fame. How will he won't get nerves apparently, but what will be going through his head?
Well, I mean, the weird thing about Alu is that he's been like, I wouldn't even say like a hidden star, but unless you try to keep your eye on Finnish Counter-Strike, you may have overlooked him just a little bit. There's a couple of players like that out there. Recently, during the recent European Championships, a Swedish player called Porf was introduced as well, which I think mainly Swedish people knew about before then. I think Alu was in a similar position. He's just been on a really, really solid incline all throughout. And I think the assertion that he won't be nervous is absolutely correct. We spoke to Nato yesterday, Justin. He said, actually about 4 years ago, Alu was a very nervous player, definitely could crumble under pressure, and he's fixed all of that now. So yeah, key player without a doubt. I mean, you see the changes in NiP since he joined. They've been really almost all-consuming.
Sean, last night you had some great conversations with Devilwalk. What was he offering up before the game?
He really spoke to me in depth about how Fnatic thinks mentally about teams and how they prepare for them, how they really look into timings. They study demos based on like the times people generally hit areas, and they react on those times. So when you see random pushes out of Fnatic this map, it's likely because they noticed over a slew of demos that NiP likes that specific time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Here we go. It's the ESL 1 Counter-Strike Global Offensive Grand Final. The pounding heart of esports beats louder here in Katowice. And we are ready to go. Anders, take us away.
Well, look at this already from Fnatic. That's 3 people on short. So this is definitely Fnatic having something up their sleeves here. They're hiding for it. Freiburg coming in as a quick trade as Forrest also gets Olofmeister. It turns in NiP's favor. JW trying to hide up here, and this is great. He has to stay alive for a long time. He needs his teammates to come in and try and help out. Krim's trying to cover the cross here, but NiP, they're trying to play this as slowly as they possibly can. JW, big opening there, but he goes down to get right now. Flusher, very low on health as well. No bomb plant. NiP, they're fighting to get control before they get the bomb down, and it's definitely a smart move. Flusher is very low. I'm not sure what they can do from here on out, Fnatic. This is a tough position. Oh, and it ends badly as well. Get right picking up the kill at the end. Double for him and Forrest both.
Yeah, and what you saw right there from Fnatic was just a staple in Fnatic's game. They smoke mid, they leave one guy on the B side of the map, they 4-stack A. That's standard Fnatic, stacking a bomb site, over rotations. However, what you saw from NiP was excellent poise when they took long A. There's that gap on the right side of the smoke on the cross. They were aware of that. 4 of them were jiggle peeking in and out by the car, some on the car, some in front of the car. Good stuff by NiP.
All right, into round 2, and Alu, the man that so much have been spoken of with the scout, has spy. Get right. Prowling for Flusher, and will be walking straight into a Fnatic sandwich any moment now, but he will be expecting it, and he is joined. Oh, Flusher does get himself the kill, and a second. Forrest goes down courtesy of that headshot, and it's Exist that finally will pick off Crimson, call the retreat.
And this is where Fnatic do so much of the work with the pistols. Olofmeister with a quick double kill. It's not even a Tech 9, it's the C-set 75 instead. Freiburg 1v4. This is a very important round for NiP. They had such a good start just now. There's 55 seconds for Freiburg to try and do a 1v4. He's turned into 1v3 initially, so it might be a bit of a start for him, but he's got no grenades left, and he's got a Galil instead of a more preferable weapon, really. And Fnatic have armor. They've got a great crossfire setup. There's almost no way out of this for Freiburg, but he's gonna have to try. Giving up at this point is definitely not an option. Walks in, what a headshot, takes one, keeps spraying, that's a double. Now he's got the Glock out, no head armor, oh, the Flusher. He can finish it with a triple. And the important thing here, no head armor on Flusher, a single shot from that Glock and it would have been all over.
What an excellent round by Flusher right there. I truly believe that he won that round solo for Fnatic. Great job playing in the pit, never peeked one time. Get Right had no idea where he was because he never peeked. Peeked the corner, Flusher popped out, headshot him, got another kill. Good job by Flusher staying alive, using his positional advantage, using Crims as bait at the corner. Good stuff.
And that pistol round win nullified by Fnatic, as we've seen it so regularly now. Now, Forrest will push out and remind us exactly what he's capable of with that headshot onto Pronex. JW levels the numbers up as Freiburg is picked off. Now, Flusher returns the favor as they try to make their assault onto this A-bomb site. Olofmeister and his Vanis claim the life of Get Right. And Forrest goes down as well. Not much left for NiP, and that will be Fnatic taking the lead by 2-1.
Yeah, and that was a big round for NiP's economy right there. They rebought after that second round. I said this kind of yesterday. Teams are now buying the third round after losing the second, almost to try to reset the economy of the CTs. They have to double save anyway, so it's not really too much of a hit for them. But losing that round without a bomb plant, that could come back to haunt them later in the half.
This time it seems to be all Glocks. A single smoke being purchased. Sean, what do you think about the fact that there's no flashbangs? Do you think NiP could have made it work with just Glocks, or would they need some P250s for it?
Wow.
Well, there's the answer.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, you saw them actually do this against Envious yesterday, I believe. They ran up Cat, or maybe that was Envious to NiP, where they planted at A with literally all Glocks and no nades at all. So it could work. Chances are they're going to have to overwhelm a spot. It'll probably be Cat, and they'll try to get a Cat plan off, most likely.
Now, if you're new to Counter-Strike and you're watching Dust2 and you're wondering, how will a game like this go? Position it for us. What will Fnatic be going into as a number that they'll want at halftime versus NiP? What will they be wanting?
Well, Fnatic probably actually isn't sure what they want. They don't play much Dust2. They're really unsure about their T side because they play so loose and almost random T side where they're just kind of rushing choke points. They could get opt in mid really bad, but look at this.
Unbelievable stuff. Freiburg picks off Pronex. JW and his fans tries to put pay to it, but it's Flusher who'll have to come in and end the round with a hat-trick.
Just one more round for Flusher. It was the last time as well. So I think you on the panel they talked about Flusher and also JW being, Flusher and Crims being two of the core players, even though sometimes JW and Olofmeister do most of the flashy work. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, absolutely. Flusher and Crims are probably the two reasons why this team succeeds the most, especially Flusher. He does a lot of the important kind of like lurky roles, and he has excellent timings with his peaks. He's one of the best in the world at that, and I believe in 2014 he was probably like the second best statistical player, and that's a crazy stat.
What do you think, Stuart? Should we be worried that two of the Fnatic members don't have any kills and yet they're winning quite a lot?
Yeah, well, 4 rounds, it's early to say, but Fnatic have certainly had their breakfast this morning, that's for sure. NiP will want to be making more of a statement on their map point. And I'll tell you what, last night chatting with Heaton, the team they were afraid of going to this tournament was TSM because they'd played so much together pre-tournament. They were not afraid of Fnatic.
All right, that's some real confidence. Once you're not afraid of Fnatic, you better be prepared to back that statement up. But confidence is key in a tournament like this.
Not an exact quote, him saying that, but he was like, this is the team we were and nobody else, so let's put it that way.
All right, I'll accept it. Just a minute left on the clock. Bomb's still down in the middle, but it's on the left-hand side. And what do you think, Sean? Is it going to end up with a B split here?
It looks like NiP is suiting up for that B split. They probably know that since that Opera was aggressive on Cat, Fnatic still probably has 3 members around the A bomb site. It's a really good call by NiP right now. Probably Exist made this comp based on that position Freiburg spotted Olaf in.
Look how late they let Fnatic know the smoke is there. They don't smoke it from the other side. They're actually in the middle when they put the smoke out. Fnatic had very little time to react here. Flusha spots one. He's going to have the M4 up, but they're coming through the window as well. That's a great shot from Krims. Very quick. Flusha with one, then a second one. Pistols out. He can't get the third. So close. Get right in turn with the double, but Exist will go down. JW and Pronex just too quick on the rotation. And I'm actually impressed that Fnatic got there so quick in spite of NiP giving them very little time.
Yeah, and Flusha again won that round for them. His micro positioning right there on the fly when he's in the site, knows a mid-B split's happening. His mid-B rotator can't stop that guy from coming in window. So what does he do? He moves from site to in front of the plant spot where a T would typically plant. He has his guy in closet holding his window, and he's holding an off angle for people coming out the tunnels and entering the plat, which he let the first guy enter the plat. Great work right there by Flusha.
And at what point, we're 5 rounds in, there's a long way to go, but at what point does the scoreline start to irk you when you're on the wrong end of it?
I would say if NiP walks out of this half with 6 rounds, it's still completely doable for them. I know that there's going to be picks available in mid when NiP is CT. Forrest and Alu are going to be opping around Cat and mid a lot, so it'll be interesting, those duels next half.
We'll have to find out as well whether or not Alu and Forrest together could take down Olofmeister and JW. It's like a weird combination of 4 players where none of them are really necessarily dedicated AWPers, but all of them are really quite good at it. So we'll see how that's going to unfold as well. Not much going on in this round for NiP as they don't have the armor, they don't have the grenades either, which is a little bit upsetting to me. I really love it when people in these rounds buy just 1 or 2 flashbangs, see if they can get a little bit closer. JW, not worried at all. He did pull out the C-set a lot earlier because of the new draw speed. Exist finally coming up with a kill there with the Tech 9, and that will be the end of it. So overall, big success for Fnatic. You play these rounds and you only lose 1 person. It's very, very important.
Fnatic really yet to show a chink in their armor at all.
No, yeah, they're winning these rounds quite cleanly right now. Their economy is sitting pretty. NiP is going to have a couple rounds back-to-back if they're going to look to kind of get back in this game.
Now, what do you think about the dynamic between, because right now Fnatic have been playing somewhat slowly, not too aggressively, and obviously Exist must be trying to figure out exactly what's going on, but Fnatic have been known to push upper, push even long sometimes, so I'm sort of waiting for them to actually switch gears a little bit and maybe try and catch NiP.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that, now that you mention that, I'm actually shocked we haven't seen more aggression out of Fnatic. Typically, they're all over the mid, they're pushing upper B, peeking inside the long tunnel. Maybe we'll see something here with a cap push.
Fnatic have 3 players waiting to greet Freiburg, who quickly retreats, having spikes, at least one of them coming towards him. First man is Pronex. Freiburg dispatches of the both. Flusha has on the other side a frag onto Exist. It's going to be JW to pick off Freiburg and prevent him from going any further. Forrest lands onto Krims, and now JW with his second. He's got 2 more to find. Does have help from Olofmeister and his AWP incoming, but Get Right is going to climb up to that site and hunt through the smoke for JW, but Olofmeister is lurking as Alu puts in the code. Get Right drops from above. No! Olofmeister saves JW, and now it's all on Alu. Alu 1 or 2 for the round, gets the first, JW down, Olofmeister comes up, point blank, picks him off, and that will be Fnatic recovering to take their 6th round.
Wow, just excellent off work right there from Olaf and JW. Both of them moving around consistently after they take a shot. Impossible to kill because they just would keep moving back into a better angle. NiP just couldn't really find angles on them.
Look at that scoreboard, Anders. 10-10, Flusha and JW. Big game players much?
Yeah, and that's actually really critical because there's been a number of games throughout the tournament so far where JW's actually kind of stopped ball ping and just left it to Olofmeister if they needed it. Stuck with the rival. It's not that JW's been playing badly by any means, but if he's somehow regained the confidence right here in the grand finals to start really picking it up, and we do see now that they only have one orb, it's Olofmeister instead of JW. I think that's a sound choice, but it's great if they can have both.
6 straight rounds to Fnatic. They will set themselves up for this next push from NiP. Freiburg that'll go down first. Olofmeister claims him. And the NiP push is yet to commit.
And that was a very uncharacteristic death right there by Freiburg. He rarely ever gets op-picked at angles like that on Dust2. Very, very uncommon to see something like that.
That's a big opening. Forest has one of the most impressive entry frag ratios in the tournament so far. It's a second kill as Pronax goes. Pronax is going to go down, and it's up to Flusher, Olofmeister, and Crims. But they're not at the bomb site. They're down the middle again. Now, unlike the B bomb site on this map, A is a little bit easier to retake. Fnatic have a Molotov, but they're not even going to go for it. They are actually going to save. And you should probably take a look at the scoreboard just to figure out, yeah, the economy might be one of the key reasons why that is. There's a good bank on Olofmeister, but not so much on everyone else. So I think that's what sparked Fnatic to make this choice. Now, that was a really slow round from NiP. Are you expecting something quicker later on, Sean? They have Freiburg as an entry fragger. They could go fast.
Yeah, they certainly can. And NiP is one of those teams that when they have those long A spawns, they like to get out long A. I don't think they've had those spawns on a good buy round yet with the nades to do it. Maybe this next round we'll see something like that where they use long A fast.
So you both called that you wanted to, or you were expecting to see more aggression from Fnatic on their CT side. Having saved out, and now knowing that NiP will have a bit of money in the bank with a strong round here, do you expect to see that here? Is round 9 when they revert to form?
Well, I think the problem is, once you lose a round, if that's when you make the adjustment, very likely Exist will also be expecting you to do it. It's actually sometimes better, I think, to make the adjustment when you're already winning, so that you catch NiP sort of thinking about something else already. I would expect NiP to be quite ready for something to happen.
And that is almost exactly what happened. What did we see there?
Yeah, and that, right there you see Fnatic knowing that NiP wouldn't rush the B bomb site because they know they have 2 AWPs. Great, excellent kind of mid-game call right there by Pronax probably to just stack 5 guys for the A rush, rotate 1 back over to B.
Look at how defensive NiP were playing. Forest was scoped up on short. They were so ready for Fnatic to try and do that kind of push. I think they saw that coming miles away. Definitely, I wouldn't have expected anything less from Exist. I definitely think he saw that might have been happening. And they are actually covering everything. I mean, this is what we call the standard split anyway on the terrorist side, so they're covering long and upper dark as well. I think it's going to be up to Fnatic. If they really want to catch NiP like that, they're going to have to do something a little bit more clever, I think.
Yeah, and it looks like NiP is actually suiting up for possibly a mid-B this round. They had one guy mid go all the way back to upper B tunnels. It might be an opper, so I'm kind of expecting to see a mid-B split out of NiP right now, which would be the correct read in this situation.
It is Forest who will be the one to take on Crims elsewhere on that B if they go, but Freiburg leading the charge towards A, takes a peek inside, not much there, and Crims is going to be the man to see action. Headshot onto Forest and follows up onto Exist, and this just got a heck of a lot harder, particularly with Flasher coming in onto Get Right. Elsewhere, Alu's gone down as well, and Crims has just stamped his name all over that B-bomb site with those 3 frags.
Yeah, and I think that was the correct read right there for NiP. Their spacing entering the B bomb site though just wasn't cohesive, I guess. Forest entered first with the op. Exist took an angle jumping on that box that he really couldn't trade the kill. If you saw kind of closer angles together between Forest and Exist, that round probably goes completely different.
Now that's a B spawn if I've ever seen one. They all spawn to the far left side of B, so they'll be moving a couple of people up there pretty quickly, and they don't have all the equipment in the world. I'm wondering if they are going to keep going or not. They will slow down pretty fast. I'm guessing they also caught a couple of people jumping over, so once you see those fast crosses, doing the straight B rush could be a little bit more tricky.
7-2, Fnatic lead in the first half of the grand final. Fnatic defeating the hometown favorites to get here. NiP dispatching of Envy.
Good opening here for Fnatic. 2 kills for the 1. Crims has gone down. NiP, they're in the bomb site though, and retaking B is so tough. Get right will pick up Flusher. So at 3-3, NiP actually have a big advantage. JW goes down as well as Get Right, picking up a 2nd kill. Now it's Pronax and Olofmeister left. And to retake it now would be a bit of a miracle if they could make it work. They have a lot of grenades, so maybe they could force someone from NiP to move out of a comfortable position and maybe catch them, but Pronax has already decided it's not going to happen, which is a bit of a problem because Olofmeister's still here. Maybe just a second of miscommunication, which means Olofmeister's sandwiched in, and Pronax is going to be trying to save this AWP. This could be a huge round for NiP. They might be forcing Fnatic to eco very soon.
Big play from Get Right there, out of the sight, but still very much in mind. He got 2 frags, and he completely prevented the retake.
Yeah, and I love what I'm seeing right now from NiP. They're forcing their game on Fnatic. They obviously saw some sort of weakness in mid-B splits on Fnatic. Yesterday versus Envious, we saw NiP abuse the A bomb site time after time, rushing out long A, using a lot of different tactics than what you see now. This is a perfect example of like small anti-stratting at top tier CS.
It is Olofmeister who opens up onto Freiburg. And what will that opening frag change for NiP as they set up for this round?
Well, Freiburg is their man that usually takes the catwalk. He takes it really aggressively alone. So what you saw right there is Get Right immediately left long A and took over Freiburg's role. Something that NiP is really good at is they can all take each other's roles interchangeably because they've all played the game for so incredibly long, and they've all played together for so long, with the exception of Alu, obviously, recently. Their knowledge of the roles within Dust2, unmatched.
NiP initially showing some presence up on short, but that grenade did a lot of damage to them, and they sort of fell back, and now they're just looking for a pick in middle, and I can't really blame the great flashbang. JW running into the box. Could you imagine if they'd peeked behind that? It would have been such an easy kill. They couldn't necessarily know it, and JW narrowly missing that shot. They're going up on short once again with 30 seconds left. If they get the entry frag, if they could take out Flusher here, that would be huge. That would be the opening that they were looking for. But Flusher in turn takes out Forrest, and he's still hiding inside. And they're trying to see if they could actually get to him. Time's running out here, 20 seconds. There's Alu finally coming in with a kill. They're going to go for the plant here, and this is not exactly a great plant, especially not in a 1v4, but he's going to have to try and pull a miracle. This is where you need all that Finnish calm and also the skill to land these shots. It's just 4 of them, but Fnatic are going to make it tough, and there it is. Crims actually just shooting over the box, and I think if Alu had been waiting in that position, they would have tried to jump him anyway, so there it is. Fnatic winning 1 more round, and NiP is now in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and a lot of people watching probably don't understand kind of the knowledge behind what Pronax did at long A right there. Yeah, it was a 1 versus 4. The chances of Alu winning that are so small, but he's in the pit, and if he takes that wide angle and allows Alu to pick him, basically all of his teammates are then coming from one angle. What he did was he went on the left side of the pit, threw a flash deep sight, and had all of his cat guys start peeking with that flash and their own flash, and he ran up long A on the left wall, not allowing himself to get picked.
The home crowd cheering for the Ninjas in Pajamas. Austria's defeating finalists here in Katowice, but they went out with such grace in the main stage. They called out the crowd for their support. So no wonder they have some friends here in Katowice.
I'd really, really like to see NiP change the pace on the upcoming round. Obviously, this round, it doesn't make that big of a difference, although they are going to go for the smoke into spawn and then try and see if they can rush B. Might actually be really powerful here. Olofmeister can't see a thing for the smoke. There's 5 people coming. Crims with the AK, going to pick up the first one. Forrest goes down. Crims is going to fall to Freiburg, and Freiburg with the second kill, going to take the W down as well. And now look at it. NiP, a man up. They have the bomb inside the site. They're trying to get into positions, and Flusher very nearly caught them doing that. It could have been dangerous. Olofmeister takes down Freiburg, goes for a second one, but Alu is there to drop Olofmeister. Now a 2v3. This is an eco round turned into a big advantage. Fnatic, they're going to have to coordinate this really well to get into the site. And Alu, this is a big off angle as well. Exist going to pick up Pronax, and Flusher, there's not a lot he could do right now. He might have to just walk away and leave it at this 1v3. And NiP, are they even going to let him escape? Get Right goes down, and Flusher's out of time as well. That's such a big victory for NiP.
It really is. That's a massive victory for their economy, a massive victory for the half right there for them. Getting that 4th round on the board at 8-4. What you saw right there, though, is Fnatic used great nades. They smoked the door, they Molotov the window. NiP just ran through that and kind of just outshot them.
Those early AWP misses before the smoke went down as they came through mid, probably the biggest moment there. They would have had to have stopped it.
Fourth row moment, they had the long spawn then. It looked like they had 3 people spawning long, but they really didn't go for it. It also seems like a very conscious decision at that point to say, well, rushing long is not something we're interested, because they could have done it this time. Now, this is something we brought up earlier. Fnatic pushing up a dark, and it works as well. Not only does Crims get the kill, but he also sees that no one else is there. They get the call over from A, and actually NiP reacting to that loss immediately and deciding it's time for us to move, because otherwise we're going to get sandwiched into on the map. Flusher looking for the opening pick, but he will go down to Exist, and NiP have a good chance of winning this round.
JW and Pronex pushed really far down long A, didn't come back. They went both down into dark and long A, didn't come back when the push into A when they wanted to wait for the opportunity to retake, but Pronex coming in without support has been dropped. Alo's going to claim his second frag onto Crims, and now it's a 4-on-2 with NiP really in the driving seat for this round.
Yeah, good stuff by NiP right there taking Cat. They were all against that back wall. Something to note is when you're against the back wall, the person on that spawn ramp where you saw Flush has no real angles. He's constantly fishing for that headshot. He's just kind of jiggle peeking back and forth, jiggle peeking back and forth. But if you stick along that back wall and you occasionally let one of your guys come up and then another guy come up like NiP was doing, you really single him off eventually from multiple angles instead of running up initially close to the brick itself, and he would be able to take you out immediately.
Now, you called earlier on 5-6 rounds to be happy with this. On the Fnatic side, will they be happy?
I think so. I think Fnatic is really content right now with getting these 8 rounds. Both teams are probably going to be happy at the end of this half, is my guess.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Happiness all around. But it's only going to be one team victorious here on Dust2, and I don't know. I think if NiP make it to 7 rounds on the terrorist side, I'd be quite pleased if I was NiP at that point. And with Fnatic's economy, it's not even entirely impossible that could happen. But then again, this is also where Fnatic are so good with the pistols, so you can't even rule them out. Even without the armor, it's always a fight.
Yeah, and you can see Fnatic trying to use those rifles they have, the AWP and the AK, aggressive in middle right now, look for an opening on the round. NiP is just not giving it to him, though.
Olofmeister picks up the first frag of the round. It'll be Freiburg that goes down. The rest of NiP a long, long way away, though, as Alo scouts out. There's actually nothing there for him. It's Pronex all the way back in the site. Fnatic with little knowledge of where the ninjas are thus far.
This is really scary, though, now for NiP. Freiburg died in mid. They have no map control. Those guys just pushed upper B. All of Fnatic know that all of NiP is long A right now.
So they need that one opening kill here, but JW is going to take down Alo. Great shot. Oh, JW! He gets the shot as well as a pistol kill from Flusher, and JW burns. Exist will get the one kill in, but he falls as well, and Fnatic will win the round 9-5. Really good peek from JW. Took it right through the smoke while he was flashed as well, and he's also very near the top at 14 kills, but Flusher 16, 15 on Olofmeister. There's definitely 3 people on Fnatic doing a lot of work in the kills department.
Last round of the first half. Here we go. The home crowd have their favorites. It's JW and Pronex who will come out looking for frags here as JW connects onto Alo and sends Get Right running, who was with him.
Well, once again, the smoke is up in the middle. Flusher coming through, looking for the opening, but they're not going to find. He's a little bit worried, and I don't really blame him. Olofmeister in sight, going to get the one kill, but Exist takes him down, and Crims is in the smoke. He's trying to see if he can find a way out, and Forrest will give it to him, but not the way he was expecting. Forrest goes down in return, and now it's on Get Right to clutch it. Maybe the one person you'd want to have left in a 1v3 like this. Now, if only he had the bomb, there'd be so many more options for him to walk around the map, maybe try and pretend to be at A, but because the bomb is right here, Fnatic can stay as one group, and there's not a lot that Get Right could do about it. This is going to be down to part skill on Get Right and part mistake on Fnatic. We'll see how it unfolds. Quick peek there, does a little bit of damage to JW, and he's not scared at all, and Get Right is still down there, waiting, but he can't wait too much longer, and he will go down. Flusher, he started the round, or he started this half, he ends it with a triple kill as well. Very solid performance from him.
Yeah, and that 1-on-3 right there really shows where Fnatic's mind at right now. They're playing really smart CS. In that 1-on-3, Pronex knew he was the only person susceptible to dying right there. What does he do? He falls back around out middle, spotting through the door crack. Literally cannot die to get right at that angle. The other two guys in B set up a head stack, back plat, front plat. Good work by Fnatic right there.
Let's talk this second half as these two teams switch sides. What do you expect to see from Fnatic on their T side? What are they going to bring to the table?
I think Fnatic is going to start off here really aggressive. I know they're going to use long A fast. They like to rush. They like to do something really cool, actually. They like to have Flusha go B tunnels, throw a lot of stuff B, while two guys basically just run out mid through their own smoke that they smoke from T-spawn, while two guys work long A really fast. They're basically working all areas of the map at an extremely fast pace, and basically keeps the NiP players kind of unable to move. And if any of them wins a battle, they all flood to that area.
And Anders, what will NiP be doing to counter that?
Well, I think NiP very often, as we've brought it up so many times in the past as well, they do rely a lot on their picks, and in pistol rounds, it's Forest I'm going to be looking to. I think Forest is actually one of the best pistol players in the whole world, and this is where we're going to have to see it, especially on Dust2. I recall a number of times where he starts off with a good couple of USPS kills. If they get that, Fnatic's whole strat could be shot down very quickly, and I do think, in my opinion, I think 5 rounds is just on the low side for NiP. So pistol round here, and we've got a real game on our hands.
One half in. Anyone on the server that you're a little concerned about right now, or is everyone delivering as you would want?
No, well, I'll go the other way and say, actually, because Alu's got the 5 kills, right? Now, you have to remember, NiP aren't putting Alu in a position where he's meant to get a whole bunch of kills, but I would say those 5 kills have been pretty high impact kills. And that's something you have to remember every once in a while, that if you just look at the actual number, you'll get a bit of a misconception about what Alu's actually doing. So a little bit of credit to him as well. They've been really important kills, the ones that he's got.
That's what I always say about myself as well.
Exactly.
Not many, but they're all important.
And I 100% agree with what Anders just said. He's not really in that big of an impact role in their T side, but this CT side is his time to shine. He's in a lot of spots where he can open up rounds for NiP. So if Alu goes small this half, it could be in trouble for NiP.
Katowice makes some noise. Here we go. The second half. Fnatic 10, NiP 5. We're underway.
Freiburg very nearly got caught. I think if maybe they had charged him down there, there's not a lot he could have done, but Flusha probably a little bit worried because he started off on 4 health. And Fnatic really do kind of grind to a hole. They've got a couple of people towards lower and upper dark and a couple of people out long, so they're really feeling out NiP. And the Swedish team, well, a Swedish team, that's both of them, but the CT side here with Exist moving up is going to give them such a lot of information. NiP aggressive from the start, and they're going to find out quick what Fnatic are doing.
Forest with 2 big headshots. Crims and Pronex both down. And NiP find themselves in a fantastic position. 2 men to the good of Flusha on just 4 points of health. But look at the health on the NiP side. They have little of it, let's just put it that way. Olafmeister picks off Freiburg.
The damage from that Tech 9 Olafmeister, I have no idea how he does it. It's incredible, isn't it? Oh, Flusha, he jumps with the Glock. That's such a dirty kill on Alu. That is going to be very frustrating, and now Flusha's feeling it as well, just jumping down, doesn't want to get caught on short. It is a 3v3, and the bomb is ticking away. There's no kit currently picked up on NiP. That's a big problem, but Get Right gets the one. JW goes down. It's going to be up to Olafmeister. It's going to be the Tech 9 Supreme here, down in the pit, sniping away. He's got 30 bullets left and trying to stop them. There's the 1 kill on Get Right. Bomb still being defused. He's trying, and there it is, NiP. They get the wires cut, they win the round, and now the game is definitely on.
Yeah, what you said was the perfect adjective to describe that round. Dirty. That round was so dirty. Those Tech 9 headshots from crossing long A into spawn, the jumping kill by Flusha. But good work by Fnatic and great retake by NiP right there on the A bomb site, because Fnatic actually had that round in the bag.
And I'm not sure how much of it would have been possible if Forrest didn't land those 2 kills. He's such a monster with that USPS. Very, very calm, very collective, and it goes back a long way. So historically speaking, way back into 1.6, would have said him and Edward, who's now playing on Na'Vi, the 2 really great pistol players of 1.6, at least later on at least. Forrest gonna be taking down Crims here, and also Flusha falling out. Fnatic with a really early buy, Sean. Is this a surprise to you?
No, not at all. Fnatic is notorious for buying on these second rounds. They'll never save. And even on the second round after they plant. So a lot of teams on the second round after they plant will like to full save second to buy AKs on third. Not Fnatic and Envious, though. They're real big fans of buying the second round and keeping the economy really low for the CTs.
Freiburg being chased down, but will come out of it with a frag onto Olafmeister. The nade from JW, followed up with his own Galil. Do make a round of this as there are two players armed and dangerous for Fnatic, looking for the 3 of NiP. And JW and Pronex will look to escape long A, but it is Forest who will be waiting.
Tough round for Fnatic here because it looked like such a good start. And sure, once the round is over, I want to know if you've ever seen that smoke wall that went down so they could almost isolate the player in pits. Very cool from Fnatic. Pronax, though, will take it. Says he can't finish off Forest either, and JW is alone. He doesn't have the bomb, and he doesn't have the time either. Actually, he needs to die, and Get Right is going to get that kill. Very important that JW doesn't stay alive until the time runs out. Wouldn't expect him to make that mistake, but Sean, they isolated the guy in pit with smokes. I've not seen that very often.
Yeah, it's a very rare strat. I have seen it a couple times on Dust2. Actually, one of the times that I've seen it, I believe, were from the Brazilians when we were scrimming against them. They threw that wall of smoke at long A, singled off our guy pit. It's a great strat because the rotations on Dust2 are known for having one pit, one kind of that game helper car area, and then one almost floating around spawn towards mid. So basically, you're fully singling off that guy pit, which is what Fnatic did.
Get Right, who senses action coming his way in mid as he retreats, waits for Forest to come and help him out, and he duly obliges. Solid start from NiP in the second half. Fnatic, though, with that cushion.
Yeah, and they're just going to go for that standard A play where they're going to try to get the bomb down for the cat plant right now.
No grenades on them either, so this is just going to rely on essentially NiP missing a couple of shots here. Get Right taking a while to spray, but he will connect. JW very low on health. Pronax going to fall. It looks like Fnatic are simply going to crumble in this round. No chance at all. And I think I brought it up a couple of times in the first half. It's one of the reasons why I think investing those $200 into a flashbang, into a smoke, definitely can make a big difference. The Fnatic, though, it's not the end of the world without the bomb plant. They still put together a buy in this round. It's 10-8, and it's only a 2-round difference. And NiP don't even have their double up setup. It's just Forest. Once they get Forest and Alu, things get very ugly for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's really important that Fnatic wins this round if they want to keep their lead in this game, actually, because once Alu and Force are both offing, it could mean trouble.
Slasher strikes down Freiburg with the AK, and the Fnatic side don't chase that one out. They retreat back and will set up again to go again. So talk us through that. They had 4 men long A, but having got that frag, they got out. What was the thought process?
Yeah, so they know once they frag that guy long A, they can get a guy pit like this, Olafmeister. Krims is holding upper B push because typically in top level CS, once someone calls 3 or 4 people out long A, you're going to get another push on the opposite end of the map. So Krims is holding down, anchoring over there in the B tunnels. Now Fnatic is heading back in that direction, knowing that they're probably set up in almost like a 2-2 setup, where 1 spawn, 1 B, and then 2 at A. NiP, though, reading this, has no one in the B bomb site.
That is crazy. It's very, very rare, and it can end horribly wrong. Get Right, though, going to get the one. Goes for Krims, but can't find the kill here, so Krims going to open up instead on short. Still looking very good for Fnatic. They had the man lead, and Olafmeister hasn't really seen anyone down there. Forest going to get overrun, trying to charge up on short, and that's a double kill for Krims. Fnatic looking to take an 11th round here. And even though there's not a lot of time left, it should be possible. Alu, that was actually a grenade. Thought for a second that was Exist spraying crazily, but 2v3 retake here. They need control of short or long, and they're going to go for short, but the bomb is planted for long. Fnatic have an overwhelming chance of winning this round.
Olafmeister's going to come around the back for Alu as well, and will get it. Oh, no! Was convinced he'd finish that one off. Alu picks him off, and NiP escape with 2 men away from that round. Sean, having seen what happened, what would you have done perhaps differently for the NiP side to get something out of that?
They were in a really bad spot. They were down 4 versus 5. Olaf was in the pit. Basically, what Fnatic did was hold that upper B push with Krims, make sure no one pushed there, and then they went cat. And the reason why they went cat is because Olaf's holding the spawn rotation, so no one else can enter the A bomb site. So NiP obviously has to be playing either 2 on cat or 1 on cat and 1 spawn. And Fnatic knows that. So they methodically clear up middle, make sure they can't get picked in middle, work up cat, and no one else is entering the A bomb site besides the 1 or 2 guys on cat. Excellent mid-gaming by Pronax right there, proving why he's one of the top mid-gamers in the world.
You mentioned that was a vital round for them to pick up as well. From here at 11-8, where do we go?
Yeah, so NiP needs to win this round to reset Fnatic's economy right now. Really get them back on that kind of low money 1.4 after they lose this round. This is a huge round for NiP's economy.
I'm surprised that Fnatic took that much damage from the grenade, first of all, and that they walked out so casually in lower dark, because the boost up shot where you look in with the AWP is a very common one that NiP will do as well. I don't know, I would expect Fnatic to be a little bit more safe and maybe throw a pop flash from top of mid so that you're kind of sure no one's peeking there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was referring to before the map even started, is that Fnatic's so hyper-aggressive on Dust2 that they're extremely susceptible to being picked all over around middle, from cat, lower, mid doors, anywhere really. That's why I really wanted to see the double op setup from NiP come out. Unfortunately, they just haven't really been able to get it going.
Well, 45 seconds left at this point here, and it looks like it's going to be a B push. Stuart, do you think Exist can stop this alone?
Well, he's going to have to give it all he's got as he sets up waiting for it. NiP have no one near him to help. And he will face Flusher first of all. Here we go. Exist drops down, goes for the first frag, gets it, but will go no farther as Crims comes in with that AK and picks him off. The B-bomb site now property of Fnatic. Forest, Alu and GetRight will make their way over here, and it'll be GetRight who will see Olofmeister first of all as he comes charging around that backside. Does get that frag and gives NiP an opportunity to get back in here. Pronex has little to no health. Crims, though, will go head-to-head with GetRight as they charge in, and he'll come out on top. GetRight down, Forest now into the site. Alu is all that's left standing for NiP, and he will get out of there. Fnatic take it. They will go to 12-8.
Well, the way that Fnatic entered the B-bombs right there was flawless. Their spacing, the way they moved in, Flusha took that close angle under the box, basically negating the angle that Exist was at. Meanwhile, if you saw, people were moving to his left wide, so they're able to trade because they're moving in sync with each other at different angles. Just perfect spacing by Fnatic entering the B-bomb site.
Now, I have to ask you, Sean, did you catch what information it was that NiP got that made them put Exist that much alone? It wasn't like he had a backup close middle that could come and help him out. They had one guy pushing long, I think, sort of, or close long at least, then they had the rest two in A. That was a pretty big stack going on for NiP towards A side of the map. And actually, we might even have to skip that, because NiP, they're charging. They want to put pressure back on Fnatic. They save the AWP, and Alu will open up on JW. Forrest is here to pick it up. That's very well orchestrated from NiP. Exist inside the bomb site, goes for the peak, but can't do the damage. It looks like they might have to settle for just holding onto the AWP and maybe picking up another one if they can.
Yeah, and that's just NiP trying to adapt to Fnatic's plays early in the half, to answer your earlier question. They weren't really hitting the B-bomb site very much at all early in the half, and NiP realized that, and they were playing one guy there because of that. Now, 2 rounds in a row, Fnatic's hitting the B-bomb site. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them go back to A now. Now that they've gotten in NiP's head, made them realize they can't cheat over to the A-bomb site, they're probably going to go back to A again.
Olofmeister didn't put that bomb down, and Alu just assumed that he's long gone, but in fact, Olofmeister will delay, and now will put that bomb down as Freiberg will make his way around the other side. So Alu looking for a whisker that he can take off. And it'll be Freiberg that may act as something of the bait here as he draws out that frag from Grims and then follows up with another. Alu goes down. Fnatic 13-8 up.
To be honest, I'm surprised it even turned into a 2v2. I thought Fnatic should have won that round a good while earlier. A little bit scared, actually.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to the next round. That was a complete mistake on my part. NiP just made some plays to get back in it. Crims obviously shut it out there for them.
Well, 13-8. JW in the middle. They smoke it off, but he can't find the timing there. It's a bit of a blind shot, obviously. In the meantime, Fnatic, they're 3 rounds away from taking away Dust2, and I think most of us agreed that Dust2 was the map that NiP definitely needed to win. I think Cash is going to be even harder than this one. Not impossible by any means, but it's going to be rough at least. So this is now where NiP have their backs to the wall. If they lose this round, they'll be ecoing once more, and Fnatic will be practically at map point.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. NiP is now scared of the B-bomb site, and they now have 3 guys there. Fnatic is doing something a little bit different, though. They leave the bomb in upper B, which means their desire is eventually to go to the B-bomb site, but they have 3 guys playing aggressive cat right now. Perhaps they may plan a spawn drop right now through this smoke.
I think they're going to boost over it. I think they want to try and see if they can look over the smoke. Yeah, so this is something very cool that Fnatic have done a couple of times before. JW looking all over the place, but he's not going to find anyone. So it's not as action-packed as it could have been. Down on long as well. I think they've got a player moving up.
Yeah, look at the bomb in lower B right now, and one guy's flanking him actually from upper B. This is a really important kill for Flusha.
Here we go, Forest downs the bomb carrier and will take control of the round for NiP. Suddenly, information flowing, and Pronax is going to be up head-to-head with Get Right elsewhere. Olofmeister in on Exist. These two duel it out. JW has since collected that bomb and is moving it into A. It's Get Right that will go on for it as he and Alu pick up frags. JW goes down. Now, it's all on Crims. 1 versus 5. This could be a clean sweep if they pick it up.
What a situation, what a kill from Forest. That's what we talk about with high impact kills. It's only one, it's not a flashy triple or a quad kill, but it makes such a big difference here. Crims, time runs out, and NiP, they get a second lease on life here. Sean, please tell me, when you're in a team like that and you're getting ready to execute and then all of a sudden your bomb carrier dies, how does that affect the communication in the middle of the team?
Yeah, it's very odd that Fnatic would leave the bomb in B tunnels like that and just have him so susceptible to the B tunnel push, knowing that NiP is a fan of pushing upper B. They've done it before in this match, actually. So, weird call by Fnatic. I don't know what their end game was that round.
750,000 people watching this as Forest will see action exist, and he will go up against a full assault from the Fnatic side. Flusha down by Forest. Exist gets his frag as well, and the pair of them go to work on the Fnatic boys with 3 frags and force the remaining 2 to retreat.
And this would be quite the comeback for NiP. You could tell Fnatic, they thought that would have been a good idea, and actually they did catch one guy in that car corner, which is not always amazing to hold. It kind of seems like it should be, but very often you can get sandwiched in. In 1.6, it would have been an amazing corner to hold, but in global offensive, it's a little bit harder sometimes. JW and Olofmeister, what's the play here, Sean? Do you play to damage NiP's economy and maybe hope to the bomb down, or do you just play to save the rifles from the next 50 seconds?
I think so. I think their goal right now is to really hope NiP messes up and starts looking for frags too early. They know that NiP is probably going to try to hunt them eventually. Oh, and yeah, see, JW is just trying to clear an angle and gets caught by Get Right there.
It's just Olofmeister left. And NiP will get themselves into double digits if they can close this round out. Olofmeister will be caught in a sandwich. Much as he was last round as well, in fact, at the very end.
The Olof sandwich. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Exist will drop him, and they actually have a chance for a double up here if they want to. So I'm sort of wondering, yeah, there we go. Gonna pick it up. And this is what we were talking about from the very beginning. Forest and Alu. What positions do you think they're going to take? Are they going to play it passively, or will we be seeing short boosts to try and get into middle?
I'm definitely expecting a short boost, as well as maybe Forest opping in the middle. If Alu has the long spawn, though, he could take it.
You know, we've gone 2 rounds without a Fnatic frag.
So, yeah, we have one. It looks like we have 1 picking mid and 1 aggressive cat.
Yeah, so just like you called, Sean, that's exactly what they did. Went for the boost up short. Forest fighting it out. He's stolen a Tech 9, which is obviously a great choice as well. And Alu down the middle here does spot out 1. It's only a eco round here for Fnatic. But NiP need to get out of this round with everyone alive. It's really important for them. Alu, second kill there through the middle doors. And Pronax, Olofmeister, Flusha, they're all very low on health. Not much of a chance here. So the gap has really closed, Stuart. It was just a massive lead for Fnatic, and now it's shrinking.
Yeah, and this was what I was worried about for Fnatic. Now they're gonna have to keep up that pace. I think they need to keep using long A and B like they've been using it. They need to use it fast, because if they work in the middle, I honestly think they're going to get picked apart by the 2 ops on NiP side.
Momentum very much with NiP now. They have, built up a bit of a bank as well to go with it. For Fnatic, they've got to stop this. They cannot allow it to go to 4 straight rounds.
And it's really important to note, too, that Anders said Forrest stole that Tech 9. That's not helping him get out of jail anytime soon.
Listen to the crowd, they're loving it. 13-11, 25th round is only the first map here at the Grand Finals. There's so much still to come, but it already feels like it's been a very long fight for both these 2 teams. Flashbang on over, and Forest feeling somewhat confident, but can't easily catch someone over the smoke. And Fnatic are playing quite defensively here. They're slow to get into the middle. I think they're a little bit worried initially that maybe NiP was going to go for the boost again, But NiP are also changing their pace, trying not to get too predictable. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult, I think, for NiP this round to pick up an early kill.
Forrest is going to be the man to try, and he will pull back in the end. The Fnatic firing squad usher him away.
Yeah, and Fnatic has no map control after literally almost a minute into the round. They've done nothing. Their mid-smoke's gone. They haven't even progressed up Cat. Basically solo because of Forrest. He's just playing so aggressive in the middle, Molotoving, peeking in front of the Molotov, using it as like a one-way.
As we cross into the 35-second mark, it means Fnatic have very, very little time to execute. It's going to be an A push. Alu falling back to the next corner, wants to try and see if he can snipe them as they come on catwalk, and this is such a powerful position. I don't see this working out for Fnatic. It's going to require at least one really powerful entry frag, and probably a second one. They do have the smoke to try and get rid of Alu, but yeah, there it is. They're really trying to see if they could force him up. Flashbangs in as well, but look at how good he's positioning himself here. Not going to be easy. Flashbangs out. Get right gets the one in here, but Pronax will return. Fnatic, there's the one opening. Alu's going to pick off Crims, and he's still fighting. Top of mid, Forrest goes down. The Tech-9 not enough, but oh, what a shot from Exist to take out Olofmeister. And yes, the bomb is down, but holding a bomb site is very tough right now. And Flusher's just going to run. Alu with a great pick off here. Flusher in CT spawn, but he can't stop the defuse.
And this is NiP with momentum right now. Look at these shots they're hitting. Exist with that shot top mid, then Alu through the box. Oh my goodness.
Flusher down, and it is 13-12. We're coming close to a tie game as we hit the business end of this game.
Now, Sean, we've seen some strats here, some fun strats from Fnatic so far, but there are more crazy things that could be pulled out on Dust2. The way that Forrest is holding middle right now, would it make sense to go for a short push where you actually end up jumping down CT spawn? It's something that's, I mean, it's a big risk, but you know, they are actually being caught up to here.
They're the type of team that would do something like that. So yeah, I could definitely see them making a play like that, jumping into spawn, trying to kill the guy in middle. Maybe throwing that same spawn drop smoke they threw last round, but go the other way.
Well, this time at least they find the opening on Forrest, and that has to be big. One of the orbs out of the picture. Alu still has the other one. Still a bomb is in T-spawn. Fnatic really playing defensively.
And yeah, again, we're almost 45 seconds into the round. Fnatic has no mid control yet again. This is going to hurt their chances of winning the late game situation, even in a 4v5.
And look at this fake here. They're smoking like they did last time when they went pit, but the bomb is actually in upper dark. So Freiburg could probably remember what happened last time he got isolated in here. Might be calling it out. They might be coming. And look at NiP. They are rotating one guy over, leaving just a single person in B, and that's Exist. Whereas just a few seconds ago, they did have two here. This is work for Fnatic. This is exactly what they wanted. Smart play from the terrorist side. Exist gonna pick off one flash out. Still 10 seconds, and oh, Get Right comes in to help out. Exist will go down the Crims, but Get Right is there to cover it. That is very, very great play from Exist. Only the one kill, but it's worth so much in the end, and Olofmeister's going to fall as well. Pronax 1v2, and he will fall to Get Right, who gets a triple kill. NiP now ties the score at 13-13. And again, high impact play from Exist there.
Yeah, Exist is literally writing the book on how to play the B-bomb side on Dust2 this tournament. And it's crazy because throughout his whole entire CSGO career, he's been that A rotator. And this is one of the first times I've ever seen him play the B-bomb side. And it's like a blessing almost that he was sent there, because every time I see him, he's stopping rushes, he's nading, he's flashing. His nade usage is excellent over there.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Divine intervention put Exist on B for NiP. And, well, we are right at the business end of this. 13-all. We have a timeout. Just please entertain us. What might be going through those two teams?
Well, Fnatic actually called the right strat that last round. They had a 3-on-1 against Exist entering the B bomb site. He stalled them. He got that entry kill and then hid and used his nades so effectively, allowed for a rotate to come in, helped him out. Fnatic just honestly needs to speed up the pace though, or do something to get mid control, because right now this slow, methodical way of taking mid isn't working. Even if they are getting the entry kill like they got last round, it's all for nothing because they're not even getting up cat. Too much time has passed. NiP is reading them really well, with the exception of that last round. So Fnatic needs to speed stuff up in my eyes.
Well, I mean, right now we can. I mean, don't want to say too much, but they're sort of. They may have the position to try and do it. I'm not sure about the money. At the same time, Fnatic are right now playing a lot around the smokes and the flashbangs. What do you think, Sean, about the going the opposite way and saying, well, how about just walking in B without anything, not allowing NiP to know that we're going to come until we're there, right at the edge? I mean, obviously it relies on a little bit of luck with Exist not peaking too soon, but we've seen it work before. A lot of the CIS teams will do it on this map. They'll do it on Mirage as well a couple of times.
Yeah, so it wouldn't really be that bad of an idea, but what you're going to see from NiP pretty much every round for the rest of this half based on their money is you're going to see them pre-smoke that upper B tunnels. Force is going to come in through the window probably with his AWP as Exist gets set up, and then at that point Force is going to fall back to mid. Once Force falls back to mid, that maybe like 5-second to 10-second window, Fnatic has a time where they could jump through that smoke and single out Exist. And if they throw the proper flashes, maybe one at that like Humvee fence area, that'll blind anyone in like the window or the plat by the barrel. And that'll eliminate half the angles maybe that they could die from when jumping through that smoke. So just a couple coordinated flashes jumping through that smoke would get them in the B-bomb site, like you said.
Let's walk through the scoreboard whilst we have the moment. The spread on Fnatic is 5 from 23 to 17. In fact, let's come back to this later as we're about to get this underway. But
well, if ever there was something to make Fnatic move fast, I think it's probably Tech-9s. They seem to work even better when you're running. They have the flashbangs, they're going up short. It's an actual Tech-9 train. Almost the most vile thing I can imagine. Alu up in the A-bomb site might get overwhelmed here. Olofmeister picks up the first kill, a second kill. Flusher comes in, Alu's down, it's Forest and Exist left, and this is working beautifully for Fnatic. It's Exist to take down Crims. They're trying to fight their way back, and Forest is out in the open. Bomb is down, but he's getting outgunned here. Olofmeister, a third kill in the round. What a champion. Now down to Exist in a 1v3. And NiP, they might lose this round. Fnatic, they had the timeout, and it seems to have paid out really well. The Swedish captain here, or the NiP captain, he's fighting for it, jumping and shooting, looking for the opening, but he's being flanked in the smoke. 7 bullets, he goes down. Pronax, it's in-game leader versus in-game leader at the end, and Fnatic take a 14th round.
And a wrecked 9 train wins them that round. Ouch.
big round to come back. But that's the purpose of the timeout. That's what they wanted. They were looking for the inspiration, perhaps from Devil Walk Behind, just to freshen the thoughts up and offer them something that would allow them to do that, because that round wasn't coming. The momentum was against them. And Olofmeister down to 13 points of health now, having taken a whack. NiP, of course, plenty of cash in the bank. Alu pops his head around the corner, spots Pronex, downs Pronex, and saw JW to boot.
Yeah, and Alu already dealing a ton of damage this round. 187 points of damage dealt. All of NiP sitting pretty at 100 right now. This is going to be a really hard round for Fnatic to win.
And look at how quickly he's positioned himself again. One shot middle, now he's all the way up catwalk again. That's going to be really hard for Fnatic to guess. I'm surprised that it's him and not Forest who was pushing aggressively, because we've seen Forest do that plenty of times in the middle. But Alu's feeling so confident right now. He really has changed NiP, but Olofmeister will get him even at 13 health. He's legal. JW, I think it was Geralt trying to capitalize on the kill, and Forest goes down. It's Freiburg and Exist left. 2v3, they're on either side of the map, and Exist, he's done it before, he's gonna have to do it again. They're coming around the corner, he gets one, tries, he gets two! Oh, wow, Exist, and now Freiburg in a 1v1 versus Flusher, and he has got a good chance of doing this. Flusher has no idea, whereas Freiburg can be absolutely sure exactly where Flusher is. So this 1v1 is going to decide a lot on this first map. Freiburg walking in the crowd, they're chanting in the background, and they're chanting for NiP. They want to see the comeback. Flusher goes in, a lot of damage put out. Great flashbang as well, and Flusher now has a good lead, and I love the decision to go around this side of the wall. Very good, but it goes down! Freiburg with the flashbang, and there it is. What a clutch. Freiburg and Exist. Absolutely heroic play.
Wow, that 1 versus 1 was flawless from both players. Flusher using his flash perfectly, then Freiburg countering that with his own perfect flashbang, running out the door. Just amazing individual plays right there by both players.
Sean, talk to us about the role that Exist played before that got there.
Oh, that was incredible. So he moved outside the site because he probably see the death cams of his teammates that just died, probably looked over really quick, saw them coming out middle. He got in a spot that they would really have to hard clear. He knew he could probably get 1 kill. Second guy was low. Just excellent positioning right there by Exist.
We're all tied back up. It is 14-all with 2 to play. Dare I say overtime on the horizon. We continue to trade rounds. Freiburg looking for Pronex. And Freiburg isolated down there in the pit as reinforcements begin to come.
And this round is so important for both teams. Their money is so low. This is almost the match right here. If a team loses this round, the other team is going to have, or the team that loses is going to have pistol buys next round, which obviously didn't seem to be like a problem for Fnatic or NiP this match, but they'll be at definitely a loss, that's for sure, compared to the rifles they'll be facing.
What do Fnatic know at this moment in time about the NiP setup?
The NiP setup, they know that they're keeping two on the B side of the map. They know Get Right loves playing spawn like that, so they single him off, and they know that the other two like playing A, and Alu typically likes opting rail instead of the game helper angles.
It will be Olofmeister the first to go close to Alu, but he is waiting for the bomb and his teammates to join them, which they do. Olofmeister begins to make the walk. Alu can't connect on the first shot, nor the second. And Olofmeister will charge with the reinforcements that are coming. In the end, bests him, and now it will be Freiburg to fall as well. Forreston exists to have to retake against 5 players. And in the end, we'll decide that is not a fight they want. They will take this to the 30th round. Fnatic will go to a map point up.
And it's really important that NiP keeps these guns in their hands right now. Exist and Force have a huge role this round to keep these guns.
Oh, first up on the way there. Exist going to pick off Olofmeister and steal the AWP. Forest also picking off Flusher. This could be the chance for overtime for NiP if they could do it, because they won't be able to afford full equipment otherwise. Pronax, JW, Crim's going to hold on for a moment. They don't want to throw everything away either and be left without an AWP or too many grenades to try and execute the upcoming round. So here it is, the 30th round, grand final here in Katowice. It's already delivering.
Yeah, this map has been so epic so far. Coming down to the final round right now, who's going to take it? Both teams look like they're quite well equipped. Couldn't ask for a better ending right now.
Well, look at this. Pretty aggressive move out long from Pronex with an AK. Normally, if you see someone running like that, it's because they got the spawn for the AWP pick, but Pronex is just jumping out. Last time he got legged, and they still won the round. They still managed to get back into it. So, gives them a little bit more control, but obviously, down in the pit is Freiburg, and I think he's got Alu over there on car somewhere with him, so they've got a good setup still. Olofmeister waiting, and that's a good pickoff, and he's gonna run behind it. He's got no backup, so he's just charging in on his own. Very, very Olofmeister-esque here. And Forrest on the other side. Backup is now coming. He's gonna have to go huge. Forrest, he gets the first kill, but he's flashed. He goes down. Get Right's picked off one, but Freiburg has fallen, and this could be Fnatic running away with it. Alu alone, and there it is. Fnatic, they claim Dust2.
It is Fnatic who win map 1, which was NiP's choice. And now NiP are going to have to go about this the hard way if they want to be the first team to win their second major. Fnatic with one hand on that trophy. Sean, your thoughts on that map?
Yeah, so what you saw in the last couple rounds right there is Fnatic accepting the fact that they couldn't get cat control through middle. What they opted to do instead was something that I kind of mentioned in the beginning of the match, where they would get a guy out long really fast. And basically what they're trying to do when they do that is force the standard setup of Dust2, which is 1B, 1 mid, 1 long, 1 game helper, and 1 kind of floating spawn. So they want to keep those 3 guys on the A side of the map, and the way that you typically do that is you get a guy up cat and make people afraid of a cat hit. Fnatic did that by getting a guy out long, which is kind of different, and I like their take on that. And I like how they adapted right there the last couple rounds, and their adaptations is what won them that map.
So we got to, let's replay the moments. We got to 13 all, and Fnatic call a timeout. Subsequently, they then go and win 3 out of the remaining 4 as if it were an overtime opportunity for them. What was said? What did they do differently at that point?
That is definitely a really, really tough call. I think sometimes even overtimes can work just as a sort of mental reset. I mean, Fnatic is a really, really well-routine team, but when you're playing in front of this many people and the pressure is so much, you might want to just take a moment to remind everyone that we could definitely do this. And then to go over the best possible strat. And obviously, Pronax used that time to come up with the can't push. You were talking about, Sean, how Forest was playing pretty aggressively in middle, and generally speaking, they had Alu over at long and Freiburg down in pit. That doesn't leave much room for short at all. So they could probably guess that there wasn't going to be that much resistance. I'm not sure that they were obviously winning the round as the ultimate goal, but I think Fnatic could have been also just trying to see if they could get the bomb down quick, see if they could get a lot of damage in on NiP. The fact that it was so successful, I think that was overreading Fnatic's expectations at that point.
Yeah, honestly, everything Fnatic did the last 5 or so rounds was brilliant. Their adaptations, I don't know what they talked about during that break. I would love to kind of dive into their team speak, understand Swedish, and learn from that. But that obviously Devil Walk and maybe even Pronax exchanged some words, discussed, hey, this slow default mid isn't working, and we're switching it up right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is halftime. We will be back momentarily with the second map. It's Cash and Fnatic lead 1-0.